Hi, I'm John DeVore. Welcome to the DeVore Fidelity YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about music and records, but I'm going to talk about them actually in the context of something else. And it's something that I have found myself returning to after not doing it for a little while. And it's because of how crazy the world is right now. And it's been going in the crazy direction for a little while, but it's really crazy now. With the COVID shutdown, I had more time on my hands, and I started a few projects, including this YouTube channel. So there's a lot of good things that have come out of this craziness. And one of the good things that I wanted to share with everyone now is a meditation practice. But before I got into it, I wanted to say one thing about this particular t-shirt. So this, I wore this t-shirt a few videos ago. The comments went crazy, and I actually made this t-shirt. So this is a photograph that was sent in by a customer of ours who has a pair of 096s, as you can see in the background. And this is the customer's cat, Ify, or Ify. I don't know how you pronounce it. And I love this photo so much for so many reasons. First of all, it's so dynamic. I love the cat's bugged out eyes, kind of match the woofer in it. So anyway, I asked the guy if I could make a t-shirt out of his image, and he said yes, and I sent him a bunch of shirts. I had those t-shirts for a couple of trade shows, and they sold out pretty quickly. I wore the shirt a few videos ago, and the response was overwhelming. So many people asked if they could get a t-shirt, and so the last of the t-shirts sold immediately. So for the first time ever, we are reprinting one of the shirts, and we are reprinting the Ify cat with the orangutans t-shirt. And I did announce it on Facebook, and a bunch of them have already sold. But I just wanted to mention it in a video for people who don't necessarily follow DeVore Fidelity on Facebook. There will be a link below. You can email us at the link down below if you wanted to get a shirt or two yourself. But, so meditation. The classic mindfulness meditation does not always necessarily involve sound. What I used to do is I would make things as quiet as I possibly could, and then I would set my iPhone timer for 20 minutes, and I would sit and I would do my very, very best to think about absolutely nothing other than my breathing. And that's not imagining the breath going in and coming out. That's literally focusing your entire consciousness on just the sensation of breathing. So it's the air going in through your mouth and the air coming out, and just that's it. And of course, I'm not particularly disciplined. And so my mind is zooming all around. And so a lot of the practice of the meditation, the mindfulness of it, is being aware that your mind has just darted left and grabbing it, pulling it back and keeping it focused. And so it's a game of kind of cat and mouse a little bit. And I did that for years, and it was great, highly recommended. I got out of my practice for a number of reasons, and it was very hard for me to get back into it. And I think a lot of people find that same thing. But with the craziness and the COVID shutdown, I had more time on my hands. And so I started sitting again. And one of the things that I started doing, so I sit in my factory, and I sit early in the morning. Well, I used to sit early in the morning before my staff would arrive. And some days, it's loud as hell in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, and so there's a ton of extra distractions. A semi-trailer trying to back up and honking at somebody who's double parked at in the loading zone is a lot harder to meditate through. So I started to use music to distract me from the actual sounds that are happening around, and noticed the different effects that the music would have on the sit. So I wanted to talk a little bit about those and some of the benefits that music can have on a meditation practice. One of the obvious things is if you use a record, if you use an LP, you can meditate for one side of the LP. and you don't need to set any kind of a timer or alarm. It's a built-in feature of a record. I always choose real minimalist ambient music. I don't want anything that really starts to get too melodic or too rhythmic or too interesting. And I don't want it to change too much throughout the course of the piece. And your taste may completely be different from that. And you may find that you need a polka to meditate best. So I'm gonna go through just a few of the things that I use in meditation, and there's a huge pool that I was pulling from. So these are just some of the first ones that I grabbed. I wanted to just talk about the founder, the granddaddy of ambient music, Brian Eno. This is Ambient #1, music for airports, a legendary classic. This totally works. Put on one side, side 1 or side 2. There's some melody in this, some piano and stuff like that, but I think, in my opinion, it definitely works for a meditation. And then from there, it can go in all different directions. I'm going to butcher her or his name. Hildur Guðnadóttir, without syncing. I will put links to all of these down below so that even the butchered will be justly represented. But this is a beautiful one, and this is an arrangement like for a sort of a quartet, I guess. It's an arrangement for string instruments though. But again, it has a beautiful slow progression. It's an ambient kind of thing. This is a favorite of mine in general. I love this record. It's Giuseppe Ielasi. It's AIX. This is it's a killer record. It's an electronica minimalist or sort of new classical, and it has incredible ambience in the recording with things happening and reverberating all around, but in a way that doesn't necessarily distract. It's gorgeous sounding for meditation or just for chilling out and listening. Here's another one. This is a beauty. This is Ben Lukas Boysen and Sebastian Plano. So it's a keyboard player and an electronic musician and composer. This is beautiful. It's killer sounding. There's some magnificent bass on this record and some beautiful strings. There's a cello in here, prepared piano, really nice, but again, very chill, very set back. Works for sitting peacefully with your eyes closed and thinking about nothing. Here's one of my favorite bands. This is Low. It's an EP, Songs for a Dead Pilot. And this is just killer. It's got these beautiful sort of droney guitars, very slow evolution of this piece throughout. A little bit on the darker side, but really beautiful music. This one's an interesting one that I pulled out. Let me just get it to make sure I get it right. It is Human Rays. It's Attention. It's a tension. Human Rays. There are some rhythms in here. There's a rhythm in here that has maybe a human kind of a heartbeat quality to it. There's a rhythm that reminds me a lot of waves on the shore. So this one has a little bit of that outdoor feeling, which can be very nice when you're trying to meditate in the middle of a city. Oh, this is Julianna Barwick. This is fantastic. This is her layering layer after layer after layer of her voice, and so, but again, in a very slow, stable, gradual way, and you get these just beautiful vibrations, and this is a fantastic one as well. Julianna Barwick. She's got a few great records. Another option, these are these beautiful little things. I don't know if they're still making them anymore. The Buddha machine, and this is one that I got that was a Philip Glass one on his 80th birthday. But they make all kinds of them, and it's basically just a little electronic loop, and it can play through a speaker or through a patch and an output there. These are fun. And another one I do, it's on my hard drive that I use quite a bit. This is an artist, Dave Seidel, and it's an EP of a few pieces, 4 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces. And it's called 60 Hertz. What cracks me up about it, it's an electronic piece. As an engineer in in hi-fi, one of the primary basic goals of anyone who's making hi-fi equipment is essentially getting rid of 60 hertz. In Europe, it'll be 50 hertz, but here in the US, the power comes to us and it is delivered at 60 hertz. And so power conditioners, the power supplies, and any amp, preamp, or component, all of these things are spending a lot of effort getting rid of that 60 hertz tone and 120 and all of its multiples. And what Dave Seidel does is he takes that 60 hertz and makes music out of it. And it's beautiful. It's actually really well done. Aside from the fact that I get pleasure out of enjoying the sounds that I'm purported to be trying to get rid of, it has this fantastic quality of layering the 60 hertz along with multiples, 120, and he sort of brings one in and has one come out. So there's some harmonics happening, but there's also some very gradual rhythms. So I'm going to try to put links to all the music that I talked about down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope if you do try to pursue it, be patient. It's not easy, and if you find that you can't do it, that means you're doing it right. Our minds are very busy, very fussy, and prone to wandering, and that's the nature of our minds. And so the will to try to calm the mind is what the practice is about. And so keep at it. And thanks a lot again, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.